We are back to cooking. This recipe is going to be a little harder today. Mrs. Schlicker told me yesterday I need to step up my game after flatbread pizzas. This is stepping up my game. So we are going to be making Hershey Bar Torte, and I will show you the ingredients that you need for this recipe. So you need a torte pan. I am not sure what other kind of pan would work. It needs to have high edges. You need to have 5 regular sized Hershey bars. I didn't have 5 regular sized ones, but we got little packets and put them so it looks like 5 Hershey bars. You need some whipping cream. You need 32 marshmallows. You need a stick of butter and graham crackers. So the first step in this is using my amazing food processor to make the graham cracker crust. Okay, the graham cracker crust is obviously at the bottom, and you bake it for about 10 minutes or less on 375. Okay, you add butter to it. So I will show you in just a little bit how cool this machine is. Okay, so graham cracker goes in here. You turn on your machine and watch. Kind of spins around, and it should be breaking it up. You gotta hold on to the machine, and then I will be adding more to make my crust. Ready? Oh, it's so much fun. Okay, oh, so if you can look inside, it's not all blended yet, so I'm going to blend it a little more. Okay, you can turn on to high. It goes really fast. Obviously, it's sharp. Watch your fingers. Don't get hurt. If there is a baker in your house, this is the machine to buy them because it's so much fun. You can do carrots, zucchini. You can do so many random things. I don't know if I have the right blade in here, though, but because it's not doing it as much as I want, but it's still working. So we're going to keep going. Oh, it's probably, no, that's lock. So, no, that's actually, just makes it finer bits. So it's going around and around and around. Around and around. And then we'll turn it off. Now, you can also cheat and buy graham cracker crumbles. I'm going to use both because I have both. But I like to use my machine. It's cheaper to buy graham crackers. So I'm going to dump this in here too. And then we need to put a half a stick of butter in here and 1/4 cup of sugar to make the recipe so the crust is sweet enough. So we will be adding the butter in just a second. We melted the butter in the microwave, so we're going to pour it in here. Okay. And then we're also going to pour in 1/4 cup of sugar. I'm using a little less because we'll have enough sugar later. And then we turn this on again and mix it up. It makes a good crust. Getting it all moist in here. This definitely saves time. You could use the graham crackers in the rolling pin, but this is definitely faster if you have one of these. So next step is to spray our torte pan. You know, obviously you want it to stick. I always unplug this first before I take it off because of danger. And now I will take this crust and we dump it into the pan, the torte pan. Okay, probably don't want that in there. That will not taste good later. Okay, so move this out of the way. Notice this way this crust looks. It looks good, but you have to form this into crust shape so that it actually tastes like a crust. And the way you do this, you go on the edges and pull up so it's on the sides, and then you have some on the bottom. You can vary the amount of crust that you have. You can make this with no crust if you don't like crust. If you want the gluten-free option, that is always possible. So just adapt it to how you like it. And then I'm going to put it in the oven. And like I said, I think we bake it for about 8 minutes at 375. So we'll check on this in just a second. Now we're going to take our 3/4 cup of milk and we're going to put it in here. And we're going to scald the milk. What does that mean? That it slightly starts to bubble. So it's going to take a little while before this happens. While that's happening, this is a high labor-intensive recipe because we have to take all these out of the packages. So I will be opening these up and putting the candies in here while we wait for the milk to scald. You always want, jump in there. You always want to check your milk so it doesn't start boiling and burning because then nobody wants burnt milk. Okay, we are scalding the milk. You can see the little bubbles. So now we have our Hershey bars in here, and what we're going to do, we're going to slowly add these, and then we have 32 marshmallows we need to add. Now, here's some simple math for you. It says serving size is 4 pieces. Servings per container is about 16. So you say 16 times 4 is 64. So about half this bag. Now, you can be really technical and count them all, or you can just kind of guess. I would think might count them just to make sure. So I'm going to keep stirring this. The chocolate is starting to melt. You don't want to add too much at once because then it makes a huge mess and it's harder to do. So here's 3 marshmallows. I'll count by 3. 6, 9, 12. So we have 32 marshmallows and 5 candy bars in here. And if you notice, it's getting smoother. By the time it is done, it will be completely smooth chocolate mixture. Then what? Well, we're going to put it into the garage to cool because it needs to cool before we add the whipping cream to it. Whipping cream. This is what we have to do next. What's really cool about whipping cream, if you whip it long enough, it becomes whipped cream. And we found out the other night, if you whip it even longer, it becomes butter. So we're going to start whipping it. If you look as I pour it, it's a liquid right now. It just looks like thick milk. How you know it's done is when it will have peaks. And I will show you that in just a little bit. Probably take about 2 or 3 minutes to whip it. So, or maybe a little more. It's still mixing. We are going to test it. How you test it, you lift it up. Oh, this is so if you look, it's too runny still. There aren't peaks. It's getting closer, but there are. Look, it's not making peaks good enough yet. I need a spatula. So now we're going to take the whipping cream and fold it into the chocolate mixture. Here we go. Oh, I should do it the other way. I'm going to take all of this and fold it into here. Now, I have done this with Cool Whip before, and it works okay, but it's not as fluffy as with pure whipping cream. So I'm still scraping out the whipping cream. Okay, so you can see that this is this. When you fold it, you just kind of bring it over. You don't want to overly mix it because you'll lose your fluff. And I made sure the chocolate was cool enough because if it's not cool, the whipping cream will get all melted and then it just really becomes this blob. So, unfortunately, I did not make this early enough in the day that it will not be ready right for supper. This needs to chill probably for 4 hours. Depending on how cool it is and how cool your fridge is. Okay, I'm gonna mix it just a little bit. But if you look at this, it's almost ready. Now, here's my pre-made crust I just did. We're going to take this and we're going to pour it in there. As you look, this is the finished product. It is needing to set in the fridge for about 4 hours. If you look right now, it's very thin. It's almost like pudding. You want it to set and chill in the fridge so it becomes more mousse-like. And then once you're done, you will undo the torte pan and open it up, and it's ready to be served. This is a great dessert. Usually it's an Easter or Christmas dessert, but today it's avoiding people, so I'll make a dessert.